You don't need a big following to be respected in your industry. You don't even need to post every day to be seen as a leader. All you need is just to be heard in the right rooms. If you are an established expert, such as a coach, a consultant, or a service provider, and you are tired of being invisible online, this video will show you how you can build authority and generate premium leads for your business without ever posting on a single social media platform. Yes, you heard me right. I said without ever having to do that. If this is the first time you catch one of my videos, welcome. I am Christelle Biiga, your podcast matchmaker. I am the founder of Exposure Maven, the done-for-you podcast booking agency that helps high-achieving entrepreneurs just like you get featured on top-tier podcasts so they are seen, heard, and in demand by their ideal audiences. And yes, most of my clients don't post on social media. They can, but they don't need to, because one strategic podcast interview can do what months of content could never do. As you already know, social media visibility is built on algorithms. And what you may not know is that podcast visibility is built on trust. And trust is critical when you want to sell, right? When a respected podcast host introduces you to their audience, you borrow their credibility. It's like being personally endorsed by a thought leader in your industry, and the trust they have with their listeners transfers instantly to you, the guest. And when they spend 30 minutes listening to you share insights, stories, and solutions in real time, those listeners easily turn into leads. That level of connection with your audience don't happen on a social media scroll. Let's be real. One of my first clients came to me saying, Christelle, I am not good with social media. I barely post and I don't even have a following. Will podcast guesting even work for me? And my answer was absolutely. We got him booked on a podcast where his dream clients were already listening. We took time to do that research. I took him through my interview preparation process that I explained in details in my previous video, and I invite you to go check it out after watching this one. That coaching helped him show up and share his expertise effectively. And right after the interview, the host offered him a collaboration. Yes, that conversation was that inspiring. No posting, no ads, just one conversation in the right room. That's the difference between chasing visibility and being an authority. Now, let me share the three-step process that turns podcast guesting into leads, because maybe you have been on podcast before and nothing happened. Step one, you need to include a verbal call to action inside every interview. You can mention a free quiz, a guide, or a resource that naturally connects to what you teach and that answers a question that your ideal client has. And if you have done your research, you know that the audience of the show matches the audience that you serve. So having the right freebie shouldn't be an issue. For example, in my interviews, my call to action could be something like, if you are wondering how ready you are for top tier podcast guesting, you can take my free 2-minute podcast guesting assessment quiz. That call to action is the perfect invitation for the listeners who, while listening to me share my expertise on how I help my clients become the authority in their space by booking them on top tier podcasts without them having to lift a finger, they may be interested in my services, but they are not sure if they are ready to get on top tier podcast. So the quiz helps them get the clarity they need to make that decision. So your freebie has to provide value if you want, of course, to generate leads from it. Step two, send listeners to a dedicated landing page, not to your website homepage. Your website might be great, but your homepage has general information about your business, your services, among other things. That's too much information. But a dedicated landing page will only talk about your freebie and its values. You don't want to confuse the audience because confusion makes you mislead. You have to have one clear call to action and one place to send them. Step 3, follow up automatically. That means that you need to have a funnel in place. Again, nothing complicated. I know some people hear funnel and they get scared. You just need a short email sequence that delivers value. In the first email, you share the results that you promoted during the interview. The next 2 emails, you share valuable insights. And the last email, you invite them to book a call with you where you can now sell your offer. That's it. 3 simple steps, completely independent from social media. And it works because the leads are pre-warmed from the interview. They already trust you because they have heard you answer questions they have and share your or your clients' success stories using your services or frameworks. They didn't just read the post not knowing if you even wrote it yourself. Yes, AI is great now with writing content. So who knows? Maybe it's you, maybe it's not you. I hope you see the power of this strategy. So if you are a high performing expert who is ready to build authority and attract premium clients without ever posting another thing on social media, click the link in the description and take your podcast guesting assessment quiz. It's free, it takes just 2 minutes, and you will know exactly how prepared you are to start leveraging podcasts to grow your authority sustainably. That's it for today. In the next video, I will show you how to borrow trust from top hosts and turn their audience into your next wave of clients without needing to post on social media ever again. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it.